Good morning, this is Katrina the Good with the Phenomena Encountered Radio Network. This morning I would like to discuss Reiki, my personal experiences with Reiki, and sending out some healing energy for anybody that needs some energy healing physically, emotionally, or spiritually, because Reiki is able to take care of all three aspects. What Reiki means is universal life energy. And the Reiki energy in of itself is almost like a consciousness of its own. It is able to go through the Reiki practitioner and find the person that they're working on, where they're having their pain, where they're having their emotional issue, where they're having a blockage in their chakras. I was almost able to do that on their own. As the Reiki practitioner, I'm able to scan, if you will, over a person and find blockages that I can sense. And how I've always sensed energy is almost like two magnets that you're trying to put the two polar opposites against each other, and it's pulling away. Some people feel it through heat, others feel it through very cold, but that's how I've always been able to feel the energy, and that's the best way I could always describe it, as the two polar magnets. Now, the practitioner is able to find and sense these blockages as well. However, there could be smaller areas where the Reiki energy can kind of flow through the body and find it on its own. As a level 2 Reiki practitioner, I am able to realign chakras, get the energy flowing through all the points on the chakras of a person's body. I have been able to find where there's some issues. I can feel where there's a problem. I can't always identify what the issue is. You know, I think one person I had to say, okay, there's something going on right here in your colon area, and it turns out that he had polyps and needed to get things like that taken care of in his colon. Now, of course, in my mind, I didn't know what that he had polyps. I just knew that particular location there was an issue needed to go to the doctor for, and I was able to do that. There was one young lady that I felt in her reproductive organs that there was going to be an issue. Turned out later that her menstrual cycle was going completely out of whack. I couldn't say yes that whether it was going to be cancer of the ovaries or it was issues with the menstrual cycle. It turned out to be that. So I was like, you know, you really need to go and get this checked out. And things like that. So I'm not certain that perhaps with more experience as I become a Reiki master there, I'll be able to better identify what an actual problem is, you know, over pain or cancer. At this point in my experience, I'm unable, I can find the location or find where there's an issue, but I'm unable to identify exactly what the problem is. So we'll see how my experiences and my increase in my attunement to Reiki energy will go. When I became a level 1 healer, I had quite the interesting experience. I went to Mystical Sense, is a shop that I speak of frequently, to get my level 1 training. And my Reiki master was phenomenal. He did an amazing job in explaining and teaching us what Reiki is, and teaching us how to feel the energy and how it feels to us, not compare ourselves to others or others' experiences. I myself personally got deathly sick. During my attunement, I got this terrible headache. I got incredibly nauseated. I did not feel good at all. And I actually later on went and threw up into the massage room of Mystical Sense. It was fantastic. And kind of laid on the floor with the lights off. And someone came in and was like, "Are you okay?" I sat up. I'm fantastic. I felt horrible, but I was able to finish my level 1 training, feeling sick like that. But how my master was able to explain it to me, or explain it to us in general, is why we're going through these level 1, 2, and 3 of Reiki attunement, is because it can be quite overwhelming to be attuned to that kind of energy if you're not used to it. So it's almost like level 1, you're just a little bit, level 2, a little bit more, and then as a master, you're completely open. So he always went through his levels, you know, okay, you know, you go through level 1 for a few months, get used to it, and then we'll move on to level 2. You know, you're there for a few months and you'll get used to it, and then before you can be fully fully attuned to Reiki energy, and believes that's what was my issue, is why I got so sick. It was almost like a bombardment upon me. And how I actually discovered Reiki was, when I first discovered witchcraft, was when I was 19 years old. I found a book, and I just was absolutely fascinated by the concept of being able to use this universal energy to heal others physically, emotionally, and spiritually. That was in reading about miracles, that it can happen while using Reiki Great Healing. And the hospital I was interning at the time was actually opening up a wing for alternative medicine, and I was very excited for that. Unfortunately, I left Michigan before they were able to complete that wing, but it was really for, I think they were going to open up for everyone, but it was really going to be focusing on their cancer patients, you know, with yoga, with acupuncture. And I do believe even Reiki, they were going to have Reiki practitioners there. It was unfortunate at the time that I was not a Reiki healer and was unable to afford the classes at that time. I think there, when I was up in Michigan, the closest class was like $300. That was quite a bit of money for me back then. Well, still is a lot of money for me right now. But it's Reiki in and of itself is becoming more widely accepted and used in hospitals, along with conventional medicine, to aid cancer patients or those who are terminal or having great amounts of pain. And it's almost like a dream of mine, if you will, for conventional medicine and this alternative medicine to blend together, so the whole person can be treated, not just with pills and, you know, uncomfortable tests. And really all those are needed to various extents and everything like that, but treating the whole person, you know, their emotional sides to chemotherapy, how hard it can be on the body physically and mentally, and maybe using the narcotic pain pills less, which would be very beneficial to the person, so they're not dependent on those pills. Those narcotics can cause a great deal of damage to the respiratory system, to the colon, and things like that. So if we're able to blend in this conventional medicine and actually heal people and their entirely, that would be very exciting for me, and to become less dependent on pills and less dependent on painkillers, and finding alternatives for overall whole wellness. I think we're going on that direction, and I'm not sure if I'll see it fully in my lifetime, but I do feel, and I truly believe that we'll be able to see that in the future, and that would be the future of medicine, is blending Western and Eastern medicine together, and it's going to be a beautiful thing. Also, what I'm able to do as a level 2 healer is I also do chakra alignments on all points, you know, find blockages so energy can flow through the body, because in the school of thought, you know, energy blocks is also a cause of pain. It's a cause of illness and various other issues. It can be, you know, stress, emotional trauma, not eating properly, it's overall fatigue can cause these blocks within our chakras, and, you know, that can cause us to feel sluggish. It can cause us to have headaches and all these other various issues, and I've been able to use it as my work as a nurse. On some patients, a few patients asked if I would do Reiki for them, and that has helped, you know, they taking their pain medications less. And I've done it quite a bit also on my coworkers. So, you know, as nurses, we do get quite a bit of physical and emotional fatigue, so it feels really good for me to be able to help nurses be better at their work and not get that burnout feeling, because it can be emotionally trying, as I am in hospice, and you know, watching people die all day can be emotionally trying, but it really is fulfilling work. I've yet to really use Reiki directly on my patients while in hospice, mostly because they're really not able to consent, and that's one thing I'm a firm believer is it's almost like I'm not going to bombard, even with good intentions, if the person is really not open to it or doesn't really want it, because that is a violation on a person's spirit. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'm feeling like, you know, there's high anxiety or something going on, not just at work in the hospice house, but anywhere I go, you know, you can start feeling my hands vibrating and things like that. So what I can do is just focus my Reiki energy while I'm doing things and release that, and hope that it reaches anybody whose spirit is willing to accept it or needs it at that time. So that's what I'm able to do, and that's what I do a lot when I feel it needs to be released, but I'm not sure to whom, or doing anything without consent, because that, as I said, that is a violation on a person's spirit. So what I'm going to do now is I just be sending out a Reiki healing energy to anyone whom needs it this morning, physically, emotionally, and mentally. Here we go. I do hope that Reiki energy was able to find somebody this morning and heal them in any way that they needed. I appreciate everyone watching. This is Katrina the Good with the Phenomena Encountered Radio Network, and blessed be.